Hello students, welcome to the class of Pole Science of 11 Arts, and today we will proceed with the fourth fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution, that is right to freedom and religion. So before this we have read about right to equality, which comes under article 14 to 18. Then we have read about second right, that is right to freedom, which comes under article 19 to 22. Then lastly we read about the third fundamental right, that is right against exploitation, which comes under article 23 and 24. So today we'll start from number fourth fundamental right, that is right to freedom of religion, that comes under article 25 to 28. So remember, try to remember and note down all this in your copy, and try to remember the article number under which the fundamental rights comes actually. So right to freedom of religion, according to that, it supports the freedom of an individual or group, that every citizen has the right to practice and promote their religion peacefully. The concept is generally recognized to include the freedom to change religion or not to follow any religion. Clear? So as from the sentence itself, you are very much capable of understanding that right to freedom of religion means every individual has the right to do what first thing that an individual can do. If I personally, being an Hindu, I will promote my religion, and I will promote that religion or my religion in a peaceful way. That is the most essential condition that right to freedom of religion gives us. Clear? So all of the individuals belonging to different religion, be it Muslims, be it Christians, be it Hindus, they will try to promote their religion in a peaceful way. The concept is generally recognized also to include the freedom to change religion or not to follow any religion. Clear? So apart from promoting your religion peacefully, you are also free to adopt any religion of your choice. Clear? If you are Christian, you can follow or you can adopt Muslim also. If you are Islam, if you are belonging to Islam religion, then you can change your religion also, and you can become Christian or Hindu also. So it's up to you if you want or not to change your religion. Clear? So this comes under, all these factors comes under right to freedom of religion. After that comes the fifth fundamental right, that is cultural and educational right, that comes under article 29 to 30. That means under article 29 and 30. This right allows every citizen of India to have a cultural and education up to where that person wants. No citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution on basis of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. Clear? So under this fifth right, that is cultural and educational right, this rights allows every citizen of India to have a what? To have both dimension. That is, you are free to have a cultural dimension also, and you are free to have educational dimension also. That means you are free to have both of this. Clear? To wherever extent you want to do education, to wherever extent you want to upgrade your culture, you can do that. You are free to do that in a country like India. No citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution. That means in India, suppose there are 500 institutions, and no individual, either be it you or be it me, we will not be denied admission to any of the institution. That means they have to give us admission. They cannot deny to give admission. They cannot refuse to give us admission. They have to give us admission, and if they are denying, they also cannot deny on the matter that we are belonging to different religion, race, caste, or language. They cannot deny on that factor. And the main thing that, or the main structure that cultural and educational right gives us is that we as an individual should be given admission, and they cannot refuse to give admissions to us on any basis, whether we are from different religion, caste, language or any other thing, but they have to give us admission anywhere in India. Clear? And after that comes the sixth and the final right, that is right to constitutional remedies, which is a very important right, and it is under Article 32. So it protects the rights of the citizens. They can stand up and fight for their fundamental rights. So what does right to constitutional remedies actually focuses on? Suppose you think that we are given fundamental rights, and in some cases, suppose you think that out of these 6 fundamental rights, we are being denied any one of the right. Suppose we are being given right to equality, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights. Suppose you assume that you are not given the right to freedom, then at that particular moment, this right to constitutional remedies will come. What it will do, it will protect the rights of the citizen. That means whatever the fundamental rights are given, they should be given in reality also. It should not be like that fundamental rights should be remaining in, or should be remained in the paper only. So if out of the 6 rights, if any of the rights are not given to us, then that particular citizen can stand up and fight for their fundamental rights. Clear? In case any of the rights denied to the resident of the country, the individual or the party has the right to present their case in a court. So as being said earlier, that if suppose that out of the 6 rights, 5 rights are given to an individual and 1 or 2 rights are not given, in that case, according to right to constitutional remedies, what can an individual or a party can do? They can actually give a case in the court also, that out of these 6 fundamental rights, as it is being given to the citizen of India, 1 right is not being given to us. In that case, an individual can give a case also in a court. So this is one of the most important right, according to which our own fundamental rights are given protection. It actually protects us in case if fundamental rights are not applied to us. Clear? So related to the fundamental rights, we have gone thoroughly through all the rights, starting from right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies, where we think that every rights have its own importance. Starting from right to equality, which gives what? Equality to all, means to all the people living in the country, irrespective of their caste, creed, place of birth, be it male or female, it does not matter. After that, the second right is about the right to freedom, where it gives the freedom of speech and expression, under which we are free to form any association or union, we are free to move anywhere, we are free to reside and settle anywhere within the country, and we are free to practice any profession. After that, according to the third right, is against the right to exploitation, or right against exploitation, under which there are 2 provisions. The first provision is that there should be the abolition of forced labor. You cannot force anyone to do labor. And second one is the abolition of, you cannot employ children below 14 years. This works under right against exploitation. Then comes the fourth right, which gives us the right to freedom of religion. And according to the right to freedom of religion, you are free to promote your religion, but in a peaceful way. And you are also free to change religion of your choice. After that comes the fifth right, which is cultural and educational right, according to which an individual can go up to the extent where he or she wishes to go in terms of cultural and education. No one can stop that individual. Clear? Apart from that, no individual can be denied admission to any of the educational institution. That means if around 500 colleges are there, you can take admission in any of the colleges that you want, and that particular college cannot deny admission simply on the basis of that you are belonging to different religion, race, caste or language. They cannot deny. And last but not the least, the most important of all, the sixth fundamental rights, that is right to constitutional remedies, which gives what? Which gives the protection to all these fundamental rights that are given to us by the constitution. In case if suppose an individual is denied any of the rights, then he or she can give a case in the court that one of the fundamental rights is not being provided to me. Under that section, he or she can present the case in a court, which comes under Article 32. Clear? So with this, I will wind up today's topic, and I hope that whatever the points related to the fundamental rights we have studied today, it is now clear to you. With that, I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.